But moving on, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you first. The Clippers extend Kawhi Leonard 3 years, $152.4 million. Kawhi Leonard is arguably having a career year, averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And the craziest stat I've seen in a couple of years, he has played 34 out of 37 games. So
same guy we're talking about?
Hey, man, the NBA said if you want some money, if you want all the NBA, you got to play some games. Kawhi said, all right, my needs are fine. I've been load managed for a couple of years. So, Gary, what were your thoughts on Kawhi getting an extension early? Because he could have got an extension later on in the season after a finals run or after a really good playoff run and got more money. So what were your initial thoughts to see that he extended really early into the season?
My first initial thoughts were when I seen this was it's good for both sides. Obviously, Kawhi gets some security with obviously having health problems and wanting to be a Clipper, and obviously show he still wants to be there. So that also relieves the pressure of the Clippers not worrying about the end of the season that, if things didn't go right this year, they could have looked at a team with no Paul George and no Kawhi Leonard in a way, because still always got to get Paul George done. And obviously we all know James Harden, one of the reasons why he left Philly is because he said it himself, who's forgetting the GM right now, the 76ers.
Daryl Morey.
Yeah, Daryl Morey. He said in China, Daryl Morey didn't want to play because basically in a way he basically lied about paying him. So obviously we know he kind of wants to get paid as well. So again, there's 3 parts to this, but they got the first part done, and it's looking real good right now. And they're gonna have a new arena next year, and you've seen how cool that's gonna be. So they obviously want to have attractions like a superstar in Kawhi Leonard, and you know what, Kawhi Leonard deserves that. He showed this season that when he's healthy, he's still a top 10 player in this league, really. People haven't mentioned him that much, and maybe even knocking on the door top 5 when he's really, really healthy like he is right now. So his thing has never been questioning about how great he is. It's always been about his health, and that's what people always constantly knock on him. So that can be looking at his fault or not his fault. It depends how you look at it. And so I thought this is a good thing for both teams. And now the next thing should be on the docket is to sign Mr. PG-13, who's been playing great in his own way too. So shout out to the Clippers, man. They figured it out. Ty Lue obviously is a good chef in that kitchen and got everyone on the same page. Their depth, they got obviously a lot of veterans. I'm trying to say, so they got a lot of veterans that are buying in as well. So they're a team that's hitting on all cylinders. The Lakers beat them somehow the other night, which obviously was shocking because the Lakers have been on a downfall lately since the in-season tournament champion win. And yeah, the Clippers are hitting their stride. Hopefully they can keep continuing because, this is good to see this from them, good sign from them. But obviously I think they would agree. They want to hit their stride a little more higher going towards the playoffs and after the All-Star break to hit to that next gear. So let's see where they land in about a couple months because we all know they're going to be graded on the playoffs, especially all the superstars they got because they're all trying to put a ring on. So
Tanya, I'm going to bring it to you next. Kawhi Leonard, 3-year, $152.4 million extension with the Los Angeles Clippers. What were your thoughts?
This is definitely a good sign for the Clippers. I think it's going to be a domino effect because right after we saw Woj tweet out and say, PG is basically next. He's working on trying to get, his extension. I think they're just trying to figure out, years, money, but it's more than likely that Paul George will also re-sign. And then after that, James Harden will likely re-sign. And that was kind of the goal for – go ahead.
Should wait on him. No, I would say they should wait on him, though. They don't have to wait on – yeah, like I seen Doc Rivers on today and Bill Simmons' podcast I'll listen to real quick. They should wait on him in terms of what his production is going to be in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's how he should be. Nothing against James Harden. He's a great superstar, top 10 scorer of all time, however you want to wrap it, top 5 shooting guard of all time, you can say too. But I think, real quick, not cut you off, I just feel like they're going to wait on him. I know the domino. I feel like that's going to be the last domino, which no knock on him, but I think you got to show up in the playoffs for this team, especially you just came to this team. So
I think it kind of comes down to where else are these guys going to go? I think all these guys are from LA, and I think it's kind of pivotal that they would like to stay in LA as well. Paul George, I don't believe he's going to leave. That's why I feel like with Kawhi Leonard signing first, it's going to be a domino effect of, okay, PG's going to re-sign, and then James Harden's going to be like, well, why not? We try to run this thing back a little bit and see where, things lead to. And right now the Clippers are currently sitting in 4th, 3-game win streak. Westbrook. I just think, with the way how this team was currently constructed, you had it was Paul George, Westbrook, and Harden, and Kawhi. I don't think all these guys can start and be on the floor at the same time. So Ty Lue, we even saw with LeBron, he said at the end of that Clipper game, which I did lose money on, He was like, no, those are the Ty Lue Lakers or the Ty Lue Clippers. And he was like, once you figured out that, Ty Lue's going to figure out how to get those boys going, they've been on fire for the most part. And they've been on 3-game winning streak since that loss that I did lose money on. But as far as for the Clippers, I think they can be one of the scariest teams in the West come to the playoffs when all these guys are healthy. They have 3 guys that could get a bucket pretty much whenever. And we all know that when the playoffs come around, the game itself slows down. And if you have a guy that can go get a bucket whenever, that's going to help you guys. That's going to help that team tremendously. And I think currently right now, I think Paul George and Kawhi are all stars. They've been playing like it. And then you have James Harden, who's like, I think he's averaging like 9 assists a game. So James Harden's kind of figuring out his role in this team and being like, all right, like I don't have to be a 25-point-per-game scorer, which I do still think he's capable of. I just think he's kind of taking a backseat to these guys who Paul George stated earlier in the year before the year. He's like on Call of Duty stream saying, I'm going to be on my bully ship this year. And I guess that's kind of what he's been on. I think we all believe that when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are healthy, they're probably one of the best forwards in the league. And health has kind of been their shtick. They haven't really been able to stay healthy. One guy's either hurt or both of them are hurt, and Ty Lue's kind of assed out, and that's kind of what it's been. But currently, they've been, things are kind of on the up and up for them. And Garry mentioned that they're opening a new stadium, and what would it look like if they don't have any star players to, build that new stadium? And Kawhi Leonard is like, all right, for the next 3 years, this is going to be, Clipper Town, or it's going to be the Fun Guys Town, whatever the New Balance commercial was saying. Once he came fresh off of that championship from Toronto, and he was doing all the New Balance commercials.
Board man gets paid.
Yeah, board man is getting paid. So the Clippers, right now, they've been playing lights out. So I definitely watch out for them. I did see a little betting nugget here. I saw that the Clippers were they were minus 250 to win the Pacific Division, and the Kings they're 2 games behind the Clippers, but the Kings were like plus 300 to win the division. So that's something to kind of look out for.
That's the easy money.
If you want to put some money on the Kings to maybe if the Clippers kind of fizzle out towards the end of the year, because right now the Kings really aren't looking as good as the Clippers are. So that's probably why Clippers are favored pretty heavily on the money line to win that division. So, Clippers extend Kawhi, and we'll probably hear an extension from Paul George like maybe next week. So,
yeah, and Todd mentioned the Clippers have been playing really well. I have some numbers for you guys. So they have a 25.6 net rating, which is first in the NBA, 131.7 offensive rating, which is first in the NBA, 106 defensive rating, first in the NBA, 43% from three-point, first in the NBA, 65% true shooting, first in the NBA, 70% on the rim field goals, first in the NBA, 10.6 turnovers is the last in the NBA. So they're basically the best team to take care of the ball. So, you have to ask the question, can this be the best team in the NBA? So the Clippers are playing really well. So